Kyle Busch is never one to hold back. Whether he's calling out competitors, expressing dissatisfaction with NASCAR's direction, or making daring moves for his own career, the two-time Cup Series winner always manages to generate headlines. Even for a driver as vocal as Busch, his most recent comments have sent shockwaves through the garage, the crowd, and the sport itself. In a candid appearance on Denny Hamlin's Actions Detrimental podcast, Busch discussed his future ambitions, personal objectives, and some of the issues that have been simmering beneath the surface. From his winless streak to a stolen Indy 500 ride, from digs at Joey Logano to revisiting the style of NASCAR's championship race, Busch opened up in unexpected and visceral ways. In the process, he may have begun a new chapter in his legacy, one that will shape the next 5 years of his career and possibly beyond. If I got 4 more years, let's just say 44. If I got 4 left, I'd like to run 5 more because that would put me in the bracket of age for then Brexton. And then what all happens, Busch said. If I can get above 70 wins, for me that would be perfect. Busch, at 40, sees the 70-win mark as a fitting legacy milestone, having won 63 Cup Series races to far. However, attaining this will not be easy. Busch did not visit victory lane in 2024, despite some promising performances. And now, well into the 2025 season, the drought persists. You've got to win, right? Busch told Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports. And unfortunately, we weren't able to win last year. So being able to get back to victory lane, being able to build on some consistency, getting those top 5, top 10s, getting that number higher than what it was this year is definitely paramount. Busch currently has 4 top 10 finishes and 1 top 5 in 2025. However, it is evident that simply finishing well is insufficient for one of the most competitive racers in NASCAR history. He recognizes it, fans understand this, his teammates are aware of this, and the frustration is reaching a boiling point. In a subsequent episode of Actions Detrimental, Busch made another unexpected suggestion, radically changing the playoff system. Is there a speedway race in the last 3? Why not? Busch stated. You race 6 speedway races, you race 6 road course races, you race 8 intermediates, 3 races, Daytona kicks it off, Daytona, Texas, Homestead to finish the season. It's a daring proposal, especially because NASCAR official Ben Kennedy has previously ruled out superspeedways like Daytona and Talladega for the championship race owing to their volatility. However, Busch argues that unpredictability is an inherent feature of the sport. He wants a playoff that represents the breadth of NASCAR's track diversity. However, for the time being, the playoff structure has not changed. Homestead Miami Speedway has been announced as the venue of the 2026 championship event. Phoenix Raceway is likely to remain in rotation. Kennedy noted that weather, location, and fan experience are all important considerations when selecting a venue. Never say never, Kennedy said, but I think we've unanimously agreed that it needs to look and feel like what we would expect traditional NASCAR racing to look and feel like. Superspeedways, I think we all feel like right now we wouldn't consider that as a championship venue. While Busch's playoff vision may not be realized anytime soon, he has not ceased speaking out about what is missing from the current system. It hasn't stopped him from discussing the Indianapolis 500, which is possibly the most significant what-if of his career. In what may be the most stunning revelation of all, Busch stated that he had signed contracts to run the Indy 500 not once, but twice. Once, in 2017, Joe Gibbs, the then owner, blocked the transaction, and again in 2024, where he believes Kyle Larson took the trip intended for him. I had an opportunity done, sealed, signed, delivered. 2017, I had it. It was all done, Busch said. M&M's was going to do it. Guess who said no? Hamlin guessed Gibbs. Busch confirmed, yep. The second opportunity stung even harder. I had it signed, sealed, and delivered again, and then Larson took it, Busch recalled. We were about ready to go to contract, and Zach Brown was like, hey, I need you to buy the car. And the sponsor was like, why do I want to buy the car? Then I found out Larson signed a 2-year deal, and we were only going to do a 1-year deal. Kyle Larson finished 18th in the Indy 500 and did not get to start the Coca-Cola 600, but he created history, and it is history that Busch continues to aspire to. Kyle Busch in the Indianapolis 500 would be electric, many fans tweeted. And they're right. For all his fire and fury, Busch has the talent to make it work. But at 40, his window is closing. Still, If there is one thing Kyle Busch has never lacked, it is confidence in his abilities. He's also never short of words, particularly when it comes to opponent Joey Logano. During the podcast, Busch couldn't resist making one more dig. Recalling the birth of his son Brexton, he joked about the due date. So Brexton's due date was on the 22nd, and I was like, we are not having a Logano baby. F***K that. I was like, is 18 an option? Busch, who drove the number 18 vehicle at the time, was clearly not interested in any memories of his old foe. Their feud is legendary. After this year's Daytona 500, Busch again chastised Logano, who was involved in an accident. Looks like the fastest car got in a hurry to get to the wreck, according to Busch. He's trying to go through the middle and make a hole that isn't there and just created chaos. Their 2023 Clash at the Clash ended in a similar tense atmosphere. It's really unfortunate to be raced by guys who are so two-faced, Busch said. We were in the TV booth earlier and he was like, hey man, good luck tonight. And then he wrecks me. Don't even talk to me if you're gonna be that kind of asshole. Two champions, two fierce competitors, one rivalry that refuses to fade. So where will Kyle Busch go from here? He's looking for his next win. He is asking for playoff change. He's daydreaming about the Indianapolis 500. And he's doing it with the same tenacity that made him a legend in the first place. Love him or hate him, Busch is still a power in the car, behind the microphone, and determining NASCAR's future. In an era when some celebrities are media-trained into bland sound bites, Busch provides followers with raw feeling. He speaks like he still has something to prove, and based on his claims, he plans to prove it all in the following 5 years. Will winning 7 more races, qualifying for the Indy 500, and securing a 3rd championship be enough? For the majority, absolutely. For Kyle Busch, the story is still being written. Kyle Busch's building dissatisfaction may eventually give way to something powerful. Few drivers have remained relevant and competitive into their 40s the way Busch has. His fiery attitude and open criticism, rather than alienating admirers, have kept him in the public eye. Rowdy's honest podcast comments and radio outbursts serve as reminders that he is battling for NASCAR's future, not just driving a racing car. When Kyle Busch is on a winless skid, it's easy to underestimate him. However, the determination and pride that define his career may make his next victory one of the sport's most memorable in recent memory. He's been knocked down before, only to come back stronger, and with his sights still set on 70-plus career wins, and even running the Indy 500 one day, he's definitely not ready to go quietly. If NASCAR listens to its drivers and adapts the product, Busch might profit from improvements that prioritize veteran talent and racecraft over pure technical superiority. And when that moment arrives, when Kyle Busch finally breaks the drought, don't be shocked if it sparks more than just a celebration. A new chapter in a legacy that is still being written. Because if there's one thing we've learned about Kyle Busch over the course of 2 decades of headlines, rivalries, and triumphs, it's that he should never be underestimated.